Are y'all guys from here?
We live in Florida.
In Florida. Oh, right.
Me too.
Neck of the woods.
Yeah. Happy camper. Virginia? How do you like the best Virginia? West Virginia.
Oh, I like this better than home.
You do?
I'd move here in a heartbeat, never 29.
I grew up here. Right up on this hill.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I was
Look
telling him
who's
about
growing.
the script. I
Está
remember this.
creciendo ya la
I caught the
matita.
tail end of this still
Sí le
being
gustó
open.
el
I
cambio de
remember coming in as a
domicilio.
kid. But the script was over by then. But still, yeah, they had everything here was jacked up twice as what it was in Mullins when you did Mullins.
God.
So if you bought anything from the country store, you're going to pay out the ass for it.
What got me is you're sitting there and if your miner gets killed in the mines, they had 7 days to remarry. And it's like, whoa, what?
Wait.
Or they had to move out of
Or
their
leave.
Yeah.
So they're in their houses and the coal miners own those houses. The coal mine owns those houses. So
Okay.
everything goes through the houses and that's what you do. But if a husband got killed in the mine, she had 7 days to remarry
Or she was
or
out.
she was gone.
They took all their,
They
They wanted a man in there
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
mining.
they packed up all their stuff and they took it to the city limits and left it.
Yep,
That's how they done it.
exactly. Yep, it's sad. I mean, but that's the way it was.
I barely remember when they last had businesses in here, but I mean, they don't mind you coming in.
Yep.
As a stranger, they'll have open arms for you, but for us to go somewhere, it's not so much. People would rather stay here.
Now, if you grew up in a family that's been here many generations, you leave, say to New York City. Do they look down upon you
No.
at that point?
No, I don't think people are as judgmental here. I mean, people have been through so much here, living here, that I don't think anybody judges anybody. Now, they do look down on drugs and people are strung out and stuff, but I think it's everywhere. I mean, I think society is just to the point where they're tired of the drug
Ahí
problem.
quedó limpio afuera.
That it carries
Está
with it.
secando el zacate de eso ya.
It's hard to take a West Virginian out of West Virginia. But if you get them out, a lot of times they can show up.
But I know one guy, Jimmy, that has a girlfriend down in Atlanta,
Yeah.
and you might have to just leave West Virginia.
Yeah, may have to. We'll just see what happens. Put me on the spot, didn't you? But she's worth it, though. I mean, she'd be worth moving to West Atlanta. This is where I grew up at. You have a huge courthouse in the middle of nowhere.
Beautiful.
This is the jail. They built it in 1930s, and they built this in 1916. This is the place where I played at, and I did my homework at the county jail every day.
I mean, we're really deep in now.
Yeah, this is
about as deep in as it
about as
gets.
deep as you get.
In Appalachia, where you're removed. Well, Kentucky has some places too, right?
Yeah, Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky. This was a hotbed for politics back years ago. If you landlocked or got Wyoming County, McDowell County in your pocket, you had all southern West Virginia tied up. Even though it was just a few electoral votes, still a lot of money down here that they wanted to hold up.
Right. And so it's really interesting cruising through all of these different towns, how they all have, some have decayed to that one where we saw the lady, right?
Yeah.
That was like gone. This is coming back.
I mean, West Virginia's not. I mean,
Right.
I guess that is your double-edged sword,
Like,
Coal's
I
good
don't-
for the people, but is it bad for the environment? Well, yeah, it's bad for the environment, but the way they're doing it now is a lot dirtier and harmful to the environment than what it was when you had coal miners underground pulling that out from 4 miles deep.
Interesting. So this mountaintop stuff is actually worse.
Oh, it's a lot worse. I don't know a lot of people that are for that unless you were rich and you had a state.
So why is that allowed?
Because your politicians,
Okay.
they allow it.
That's how it works.
And nobody knows about it. Nobody cares about it but us. And you're never going to hear anybody say anything about it either unless you come here. Now, coming up here, we have one of the new coal tipples. This has been here less than a year.
What's a tipple?
A tipple is where the coal all comes together and it gets processed and sent out to other places.
Okay, this thing here.
That's it.
So that's servicing that mountaintop we just saw,
Yep.
probably.
That's all brand new. A year ago, maybe a year and a half ago, none of this was here. Now, this high school here is the consolidated one.
Consolidated as in there were many, now there's just one.
There's just one. This is where I would have graduated at if I were to graduate 99 or later. But it's a good sized school. There's a lot of kids that go there.
So how far out does this stretch as far as kids from what, 10, 20, 30 miles out come to the same school?
Yeah.
They can have a commute of how long?
An hour, hour and a half.
School bus?
Yeah. A lot of times, if you live in a holler, your parents will take you to the end of the holler, and there's a bus stop there
Okay.
that you'll kind of wait in.
Okay.
It's the way it was in, any holler I've been around, that everybody drops you off at the end of the holler. You walk. A lot of kids walk. Now we're coming into New Richmond. It is actual coal camp too. It's just where people's left, and
Yeah.
But, I mean, we still have people live. I have a cousin that lives here.
Because they're in Appalachia, they're so deeply rooted to family and land.
Right.
So you don't want to go, even if you see it going downhill.
That's the way most people are here. They don't like. I mean, they don't mind you coming in.
Yep.
As a stranger, they'll have open arms for you. But for us to go somewhere, it's not so much. The people would rather stay here.
Now, if you grow up in a family that's been here many generations, you leave, say, to New York City. Do they look down upon you
No.
at that point?
No, I don't think people are as judgmental here. I mean, people have been through so much here, living here, that I don't think anybody judges anybody. Now, they do look down on drugs and people are strung out and stuff, but I think it's everywhere. I mean, I think society's just getting to a point where they're tired of the drug problem and stuff, and
Sure.
the problems that it carries with it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to take a West Virginian out of West Virginia. But if you get them out, a lot of times